Yo, peace, family. Light, abundance, manifestations, and gratitude. Sending blessings you all's way and positive energy. Hope y'all doing all right. We're here today at the farm. It's a Friday, and we're harvesting our greens. Our season is doing well, and we're preparing for our spring season. That's what I'm really excited about. So I wanted to share with you all today 3 easy plants that you can grow for your early spring season. For our first plant, we have our mustard greens. Here is our mustard green plot, and it is doing well. It's actually a bunch of mixed greens, which is what we're talking about today, our top 3 greens that we got started. But mustard greens is at the top of the list. Why? Because it tolerates cold and it actually tolerates heat as well. Mustard green seeds, depending on your soil and weather type, take about 10 to 21 days to germinate. They take about 45 days to mature. That's pretty fast if you ask me. To be able to plant a seed and get some greens in about a month and a half, sign me up for that package. As you all see, they appreciate the full sun and they could be planted in the fall or winter. What I like most about mustard greens is that they can be direct seeded and also transplanted into your space, which is our preferred method. And to be honest, we like to do both. Sometimes we'll transplant into the ground and then we'll also plant seeds in between using the SGP method, which means something gotta pop. Now, as a grower, I find that mustard greens are hit or miss in terms of preference with consumers. People tend to either love it or hate it. That's because mustard greens have a spiciness to them that make them hard to ignore. And I wouldn't recommend you put these in your smoothie. What people don't know is that by steaming the mustard greens, you can get a nice dish without the mustard bite. Instead, you'll have like a sweet flavor, which is very good and complementary to other greens like spinach in your dish. So try mustard greens and spinach, y'all. It's a great dish, and we might share that with y'all in the future in terms of our how-to cooking. But that was our number 1 plant, mustard greens, and let's go on to the next. For our second plant, we have kale. Lacinato kale to be specific. Now, lacinato kale is one of our favorite varieties of kale to grow because it is the sweetest out of all the kales. Most people consider other kales to be kind of bitter, but we find that the lacinato kale has a sweetness that people enjoy as well as ourselves when we cook it in the pot or eat them raw. You can eat these greens raw by massaging them with, say, coconut oil or olive oil or sunflower oil. Before you eat them, you season them, you massage them with the oil, and they'll be super delicious. One of the things that's so cool about kale is that it can be grown in partial shade or full sun. In partial shade, it might take a little bit longer to grow, but it works either way. So that's more variety of spaces that you can grow this wonderful plant. What's also cool about these plants is that you can harvest them from seed to harvest in 2 months, meaning that after 2 months, y'all, they'll be ready to go onto your plate. They say that lacinato kale is one of the original kales, also called Tuscan kale, dino kale, as well as black kale. This is just a plant to have in your fall, winter, or spring garden. Our third and final plant, and probably my most favorite to eat, is collard greens. Collard greens are our favorite here in the South and a must-have for your fall, winter, or spring garden. We're here in zone 8B, but they could be grown in zone 6 through 11, which makes them a pretty flexible plant to grow. What's also cool about these plants is that they can be grown in full sun to part shade. They take 55 to 75 days to harvest, making them one of the longer harvestable brassicas. But what they take in time, they make up for in robust, delicious flavor. So there you have it. 3 greens that you can grow for your winter spring garden. All of the plants I mentioned are part of the Brassicaceae family. They all taste delicious together. And while there's other plants that you can grow as well, like onions and Japanese daikon radish, we want to start y'all off with these plants because they are all similar, but they have different flavors that y'all can appreciate when you harvest your spring crops. If you have some favorite plants that you like to grow besides the ones we mentioned, let us know. Drop a comment below and share that information with the growing community. We appreciate you all's support. Wishing you a great growing season, and as always, thank you for being smarter by nature.